Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I want to share with you an interesting game played by 12-year-old Magnus Carlsen. His opponent is Colm Daly from Ireland, and the game was played in 2003 in Gausdal. At the time of this game, Carlsen's rating was 23-15 and his opponent's rating was 23-53. But before starting our game, make sure that you are subscribed in order not to miss my future uploads. And now without further ado, let's get started with our game and see what happened on the board. Carlsen was playing with the white pieces opened up with e4 and Daly responded with c5, Sicilian defense, knight f3 e6, d4 c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight c6, knight c3 and d6. Black is setting up the Scheveningen setup and we have bishop e3, knight f6, f4, bishop e7, queen f3, black castles kingside, white castles queenside. We have opposite side castlings, and as usual, this is promising to be a very sharp game. Queen c7 and knight b3. Of course, Carlsen could also proceed with the attack by going for immediate g4, but probably he didn't want to give black the opportunity of playing e5 after the exchange of knights. That's why he first moved away his knight from the center and only after a6 went for g4. In return, black played b5 and g5 is on the board. Knight d7, h4, bishop b7 and g6. Carlsen is sacrificing a pawn in order to speed up the attack. This pawn sacrifice is very common in typical positions. Previously, I have already shared a lot of games, for example, games played by Mikhail Tal, where again, with typical pawn sacrifice, he is making opponent's kingside vulnerable. Black didn't dare to capture on g6 and played knight b4, though capturing on g6 with the h-pawn is even better. If h5 then g5, black can try to keep the kingside closed. And now capturing on g5 is not even good because you are allowing black to occupy the central e5 square, and black is getting a pretty nice counterplay. Let's go back, but in our game after g6 we have knight b4. Here Carlsen first played a3 and after knight c6 played bishop h3. Though I have to tell you that playing h5 is even stronger with the idea of h6, but in our game we have bishop h3, h takes g6, h5 and g5. Yes, black wants to keep the king side closed and f5, though Carlsen could also capture on g5, but in our game we have f5. Knight e5 and queen g3. Not the best square for the queen. It was better to place the queen on g2 in order to also to keep the eye on this e4 square. Now if knight f6, then already the pawn on e4 is protected. White can proceed with the attack by going for h6. But in our game after knight e5 we have queen g3, and the problem with this queen g3 is that yes, black could play knight f6, and in this case, black is just doing okay. If bishop g2, then knight g4. Black is getting a pretty nice counterplay, but in our game after queen g3, black responded with a mistake and played g4, offered the pawn, which Carlsen simply munched with the bishop. Bishop takes g4, knight takes g4 and h6. A tricky move, but I have to tell you that queen takes g4 is even stronger. But in our game we have h6. And here is the problem with this move. After h6, black could defend successfully by playing g6. If queen takes g4, then it takes f5, and then king h7. Black is managing to set a very solid formation and defend successfully, but in our game after h6, black played g5, which is weakening his king side too much. Here we have queen takes g4, as I really don't like this daring g5 move. And now black will pay a very high price for that move. Queen h5, g4, bishop d4. Now Carlsen wants to get rid of the defender and then win this pawn. Bishop f6, and we have it. Bishop takes e5, bishop takes e5, queen takes g4 check. And after king h8, Carlsen played rook g1, after which black resigned. Right now the threat is queen g7 check, after which black king is quickly getting checkmated, and it turns out that there is no defense, you know. Even if you play a move like rook g8, then again queen g7 check is playable, a very beautiful queen sacrifice, right? If rook takes g7, then h takes g7, double check is coming, followed by rook h8 checkmate. And if I move like f6, this time in order to open up the 7th rank for the queen, then anyways, white will go for this queen g7 move, and black is losing very quickly. And then white will also win this bishop. Black is suffering heavy losses, and also black king can quickly get checkmated. That's why after this simple rook g1 move, we have a resignation. It's a pity, of course, that black resigned too early and didn't allow white to go for that epic queen sacrifice on g7. Well, an interesting game, I think, though there were some flaws both in the attack and in the defense. All in all, the game was interesting, and of course, this final mating idea involving a queen sacrifice is really very nice, and mainly that was the reason that I decided to share this game with you. In the end, as usual, let's solve a chess puzzle. Please take a look at this position and try to find the mating line for white. There is a mate in 3, and I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. If you like this game, share it with your friends, let them know about this beauty, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.